Keith B Dixon, commercial photographer. Welcome, welcome to F Stop It Now. Yeah, read between the lines if you like, right? F Stop It Now. This is the hub where I talk about all things, everything photography. So I'm in the studio tonight. It's Saturday night. I'm in the studio recording. I'm working 24/7. Well, not literally, but I put in a lot of hours. It's just that's what we do as photographers, you guys. A lot of hours. So if you're that business owner, it doesn't even matter. You can be in any industry. If you're the key person, you're the owner. You're gonna be putting in some work. So for all you guys that are thinking about doing this as a career, just get ready for it. That's what it is. Anyway, tonight this is basically a rebroadcast of my Periscope that I did, and if you guys go back, you can if you just scroll down, you'll see the Periscope version of this, and you'll see more of an interaction there. Anyhow, what are we talking about tonight? So we're talking about social media tonight. I'm gonna give you what I call some nuggets on social media that will help you. It's a little unconventional, right? Because we can find convention all over the internet, you guys, all over the internet. So, first things first, social media, top five. I'm going to give you the top five ideals about social media and how it can help you. And here's number one, right? Starting out, let me give you a backstory on why I'm even talking about this. In college, I studied basically social media. At the time, it was reality shows. Reality shows were on the rise. I think Survivor was probably the number one show on, and it's still doing pretty good. It's been through a lot of 18 seasons or something like that. So Survivor was the show, and we studied it. We studied all the ins and outs, the variables, and it was good. I was hooked, right? Not that I wanted to be on social media. The real world, we studied that's the real first original show. We studied it, and I was hooked. And when social media started to evolve, I just jumped on it. I didn't know quite what I was going to do with it, but I just jumped on it. And the advantage that I really want to share with you about social media is, one, it is definitely far more advanced than it was 10 years ago, even 20 years ago. I have a sales background, so I got out of college. I was working in sales. I had always been working in sales, and one of the things that we used to do was cold call. Oh my God, cold calling was ridiculous, right? Sometimes we would go out and door knock, or we'd pick up the phone, and the rejection rate, the abuse, I mean, it was tremendous. Getting chased out by security, trying to sneak in, sneak out of a building, it was unreal, right? With the internet, all of that is gone, right? Now there's still a high rejection rate. There's still the unknown factor. People don't know you. Send them an email, they don't know you. But and there's a spam element. But at the end of the day, it's just a lot more comfortable because you could sit at home and just kind of blast stuff out, or you could do what I'm doing right now, which is create some type of video. So there's a lot of options, and it's the rejection rate is just what I like to say, quiet, right? The rejection rate is quiet now, so you just don't hear anything if people are not interested, or they'll just block you, or whatever the case may be. So that's the real power in social media. So how's it going to help you? It's going to help you because it's going to increase your reach. And here's what I love about it. You can't buy it, right? Back in the day, time was a factor. So time on the telephone, time knocking on doors, that hasn't changed at all, right? You have to invest a lot of time in social media to really make it work for you. And a lot of companies, they don't see an immediate gain from it. So, but they're seeing the value of social media and how it affects their brand and how it connects, but they're just not seeing that return that they'd like to see in terms of investing manpower in it. So it gets a little tricky there because how do you really measure that? I mean, I think sometimes the numbers are a little inflated as to what people really do. We like to say impressions and engagements. are the key factors. And back in March I did 1.9 million impressions on Twitter, right? According to Twitter, I got ranked #3 in the world for a cloud as a cloud influencer, pound cloud influencer. I attribute all of that basically to my association with Netgear. So I got to thank Netgear for that. They gave me the platform with their product, and I just took it and ran with it. So it helps a lot in terms of that. Monetarily, it helps too. I mean, I've gotten jobs from Twitter. I've gotten jobs off of Facebook. It's one of my biggest clients that I work with now. Actually followed me on Facebook for months and then finally made contact. So when I say dig in, that you got to dig in for the long haul. I mean, that's what it really is, you guys. That's what social media is all about. So how do you get those sponsorships? Well, hey, I've been talking about it the whole time. You got to dig in, right? If you're a photographer or any kind of business where a company is going to be interested in how you influence their product or how a good relationship with you is going to influence something, guess what? You're going to have to put in some work. Boom! Right? I like to say boom, right? Blowing up a point. So, yeah, there's no shortcuts. You can buy, it doesn't last long. You can buy followers on Twitter. You can, very difficult to do on Facebook to buy likes and retweets and all that kind of stuff. It doesn't work, you know. It's not sustainable. So don't waste your money with that. Okay, moving on. Social media is a lifestyle, you guys, and unfortunately, because it involves your personal mobile smart device that's attached to you. It's a lifestyle, unfortunately. I'm always on my phone. I'm always on social media. It's a part of my business. It's kind of what I do, you know. So if you want to be somewhat successful at it, you've got to kind of make it part of your life and strike after you become obsessed with it, which you will become. You have to strike a balance, some type of balance. But the thing that I want to say is just remember it's work, right? It's not hard work. It's just work, right? Hard is what you make it in your mind. It just takes work, and you got to be willing to invest that. So it's a lifestyle. If you're planning on working with a company, don't think paycheck instant. Don't do it, right? Because social media is relatively new, and it's hard to track real progress. I mean, we use these codes and things like that, but there's people, they're not going to enter codes. There's a lot of voyeurs out there, and those voyeurs, they don't want you to know that they were watching you, right? They'll come up to you at a conference or an event and tell you, hey, I really enjoy watching your stream, but they're not going to enter those codes, not even to say that it's just not, they don't want people to know, right? So the expectation that you're going to jump on something and sell a lot of products, I mean, it does happen, right? I mean, you have to influence your group, but don't go in with that expectation right away, because you don't want to disappoint your potential client or disappoint your potential relationship for that matter. So keep that in mind, guys, as guys and girls, as you go through that. So what I do is sometimes I'll work out a trade, you know, and I work with companies that are going to help support my business. So if, and this is going to be far more valuable. I'm going to give you a tip right here. Sometimes a service that a company can provide to you is far more important than any paycheck they can give you, because paychecks come and go, but the service is there. It becomes ingrained in your business, and it helps you to flow a lot easier. Boom. Keep that in mind as you're rolling through. So, sometimes just approach them with a trade. Hey, can we do a trade? I'll influence your product and your audience with my audience. Got to develop one of those too. And, you know, let's trade the service. It's a win. They have nothing. There's nothing to lose for them at that point, right? You just got to keep your word and kind of do your thing. All right. So, as I mentioned earlier, companies will definitely vet you out. They just want to check you out. They want to make sure that you're a good fit for their brand. You're not, you know, getting on there talking crazy or just, you know, being obnoxious, rude, or scaring away customers. So that's really important. Your character as a influencer is super important. right? It's 24/7. It's when the camera turns off, the mic turns off, or you put your phone down. You're still a representative of that product, and I back my clients 100%, no matter what happens in the product. I mean, ethically, no matter what happens, right? They make a mistake. They make a mistake. All companies make mistakes, right? How do you clean it up? How do you fix it? That's really the thing, right? Are they going to jump right on it? Are they responsive? Those are the things I look for in relationships. Involvement, engagement, right? All right. Let's talk about the most important one: have a voice. So as you can see, it's just a little. I'm a little bit different on YouTube than I would be on Periscope. Periscope is the energy's flowing. People are there. You see them. It's going. So my energy is a little different. Here, it's a little bit more static. Right now, this is a new platform. I love new platforms because, it's like you're on the forefront, right? Streaming on YouTube, right? Streaming on YouTube. Keith B Dixon, early adopter, streaming on YouTube. Yeah. Went through, checked it out. I didn't even know it was possible. I'm just looking for a platform to connect with. Facebook, you got to be a celebrity. Well, I don't know about me being a celebrity, so that's not going to work, right? So here I am. Boom, right? Streaming it. If there's a will, there's a way. Trust me. Okay, and by the way, this is my new F Stop It Now blog. F Stop It Now. And you know what? Just in case, so you guys, I'm going to show you kind of the whole Archon thing and what that, because you've heard me talk about it. I'm going to go to commercial right now. This is like TV, baby. Look, here it is, the mount. And I've got my iPhone 6 plugged in there. You guys see that? Look at that. Wow, look at that. Right, I'm just shaking. Matter of fact, if I had the capability, I'd go outside and shake it over the cement to tell you how sturdy and secure it is. There it is right there, iPhone 6. So this is when I'm broadcasting on Periscope, this is what I use. And I love it because guess what? They've got their branding right in there. You see that? Construction is outstanding. This is actually the TW broadcaster, and it's the ultralight, right? And it just fits right in the tripod. There's a little tripod cleat right there. You see that? Boom. Archon. Great product. So you'll hear me talking about them in my streams, as well as Netgear, DMP. Once I get this camera situation worked out with, the streaming, it's going to be on, folks, right? It is going to be on. So anyhow, that was my commercial for the night, right? Voice. Voice is important, you guys. I got to tell you, voice is important, and you got to have a voice. You got to be interesting. You got to sound interesting. I don't know about looks. I mean, I see some people that don't look all that interesting on streaming and on TV. I don't know, right? To each his own, right? But you gotta look attractive somewhat, right? But voice, are you funny? Is there something unique about you? What is it? What is it about you that makes people want to listen, right? Find out what it is, do some, when I started doing webinars, we do test webinars, right? The webinars are brutal because people actually come there with a purpose, right? And sometimes they might let you have it, right? So you got to be kind of quick on your feet, right? Find your voice, do some tests, videotape yourself, and then listen back, listen back. And it's painful. I know it's hard. Matter of fact, when I did my first 5 webinars, I never listened back to it because I was scared, right? I knew like where I had made the mistakes. I just didn't want to face it. But as I progressed, I started watching and listening back, and that's going to make you better. So if you're thinking about broadcasting or streaming or webinars, that's a perfect way to get started. So we've gone through just about 10, right? Or actually, here's number 10 right here. We've gone through about 10 points. Here's number 10. Right? You ready? Follow some people that you really like, that are really good, and just watch what they do, their movements. check him out, right? I follow Terry L. White on Twitter. It's at Terry L. White. He's a technology guru. He's also a photographer too, and he's got a real handle on just technology, how to use it, how to bring it together, how to promote himself, and he's got a great handle on that. And then if you're a Periscoper and you're just rewatching this, you have people like Chris Sanchez. He does Uber Facts, but if you get on his Periscope, I mean, he's just talking about his day to day, and people are just loving it. But he's got a great personality. He's got the hair working. The guy looks good. Boom, right? Roker Labs, they mostly talk about food related stuff, festivals. I mean, Roker Labs is really good. So that's Al Roker from the morning show. Great feed. Matter of fact, just the other day they were on there. They were doing something with lobsters, and they had a chef on, and he's talking about the cook times for lobster. I'm a foodie kind of guy, so I'm going to be interested in that kind of stuff. I want to know, what's the perfect way to cook a lobster. Okay, so just all that kind of stuff, and that's what's really good about streaming media is you can get it in real time. So check out Roker Labs and Scott Williams. Oh, Scott Williams is pretty dope. I mean, this guy, he was on the airplane streaming. That's dope, right? He's fast, witty. Check him out. He's got an interesting background. I believe he's a pastor, but he just keeps it real fast and witty with it. If you get on there with some drama, man, he'll check you right out. Good brother. So, and then huge. So I'm moving across the board, right? Huge Alex Khan. Believer, right? Check his stream out on Periscope. These are Periscopers, you guys. Insane. 49 million hearts. I said it, 49 million hearts, and Periscope hasn't been around that long. 49 million hearts, 160,000 followers already. That's insane. You can't buy that. Those are people just like organic, right? It's all organic. And he's an early adopter, and he was a speaker at the Periscope Summit in New York this past week, and he believes it. He gets on, he rocks it. So that's at the top. That's the top of the food chain right there. So those are the people that I follow kind of religiously. I have to kind of pick and choose my battles. I got a lot of things going on in terms of shoots and just trying to maintain the business and training and things like that. So those are the people that I'm following right now. It rotates. I'll pick up some other people, and just you don't have to be big at this, right? You could be a small, you could have 10 followers. I'll jump on your feed and check you out. So I don't discriminate at all. It don't matter. You might have something real interesting. You might make a difference in my day. So keep that in mind, you guys, when you're out there. Go into it with a light heart. So you don't disappoint yourself. I got 33,000 followers on Twitter. There's people with 120,000, right? I don't know. Would I take 120,000? Yeah, that'd be great. But I got 33,000 strong, right? Check it out. 33,000 strong, man. I'll take that all day. It's hard to get to that. It took me years, since 2007. So don't go in with those crazy expectations like you're just going to set the world on fire because, you think you got a great ideal. It doesn't quite work that way. This stuff starts out slow. People are hard to convince still. All right. Let's recap. So I just covered the top 5 things. The question is always, how do I get sponsors, Keith? I get that a lot. What can I do? I'm doing social media. To be honest with you, sponsors, they don't care about that stuff, right? They don't care that you're doing social media or that you can do it. You sound like you're going to sound like, the last 5 guys. They're looking at track record, history, right? They're looking at how do you fit for their brand? Who are your clients? And what's your audience, right? Who's your audience? Who's retweeting your stuff? Who's looking at you? What other sponsors are involved with you? Right? So if a big company is repping you, it's going to make sense for them. Right? I'm just keeping it real with you. That's why we call it F stop it now. Stop it. Don't reach for the sky so fast, right? So keep that in mind. We talked about how social media can help you from a business standpoint. It's a must, right? Trust me, in 10 years, you'll be hitting me on in an email saying, Keith, I'm glad, I really took my social media more serious, right? Don't get behind the 8 ball, because the minute, they figure out how to start charging people for doing streams, and it's going to happen. So they just need to figure it out, justify it. And that comes in time, trust me. It's a lifestyle. Make this a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. Hey, the sad part about companies is, you go in from 1 hour to start at 1 hour, end at 1 hour, and guess what? Social media stops after that, right? So that hurts companies, because you got people tweeting 24/7. That's something they got to figure out, right? How do we keep a person on the clock? Is that the new job requirement? You got to be social media accessible. You do. It's 24/7. I got people over in London hitting me at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. What do you do? I'm not bound by that. I do whatever I want to do. But if you're working for a company, you just got a whole employee issue going on. They're working. Are they salaried? And then they're going to feel like, I'm putting in all this work in social media, I'm not being compensated for it. Well, I'm not being compensated right now. It's a catch-22. It's tricky, right? That's a whole nother conversation. Trading with companies is a lot easier, than trying to get a paycheck, right? See what you can do for them and what they can do for you, and rock it out. Period. All right. Keep in mind that you don't want to be wilding out, getting into it with people. I had people get on and just really just try to dig in, webinars and talk crazy. And I just hit the delete button, the exit button, the eject button, whatever it is. You know what? If you ain't got nothing good to say, don't say nothing, right? Who cares, right? You came and jumped on the channel, right? Okay, so let's flip this around. Let's play devil's advocate, right? Somebody's foul, they're whack, right? And you got to be the person to put them in check. Okay, what next, right? Is it going to change the world? Probably not. Are you going to get frustrated and get your blood pressure up behind it? Probably, right? So, I don't know. I've been on some feeds where, the people are talking kind of crazy. Sometimes I just listened all the way through, sometimes laughing like, oh, that's crazy, right? And then sometimes things have a tendency to correct, over time. So that person will come back and say, you know what, when I started out, I was crazy and foul or whatever. So, I like to give people a chance, an opportunity. That's just kind of how I operate, Does it work for everybody? No. Is everybody going to like me? No. Everybody gonna agree with what I say? No, you're not supposed to agree with everything that I say. I might not agree with everything that you say. Funny story, Frederick Eklund said he didn't like Twitter. I just finished reading his book and blew him up on Instagram, with my following, and, did the whole 9 yards. Well, there's a lot of things in the book I didn't agree with, but am I going to get on there and say, hey, Frederick, I didn't like that? No, it doesn't matter, because I liked more about the book than I didn't. Boom, right? Blow that up big. Right? I'm a Twitter guy. He's an Instagram guy. Am I going to lose sleep behind it because he said he didn't, he felt like he couldn't express yourself in 140 characters? No. It's hard to express yourself in 140 characters, right? But that's by design. Boom. All right. Look here. When I sign out, I like to say peace, right? Because we need it. We need a lot of peace, you guys, right? Peace and love. And that's why I like Periscope. They give you hearts. I like social media. They put hearts on it. That's that indirect message, like love. And by the way, Facebook is coming out with a dislike button. I don't know how that's going to play out. It might start some fights. I don't know. Some social media controversy. Controversy is a media criteria. There's 5 criteria for a story. Controversy is one of them. So, hey, just turn on the news and watch the first 5 minutes. It's controversy, drama, killing, robbing. That's what they do, man. That's media. Feed the machine. When I was in college, we used to say, you got to feed the machine every day. They got to feed the machine. So, that's a part of it. The good thing about my social media, I just block it right out. I don't need that criteria, right? Boom. All right, you guys. That's all I got for you. I gave you all the people to check out. Keith B Dixon. Peace.